get the cloud. But I mentioned that as part of this learn, connect, grow, that this is not about hype. This is about real tools. This is about valuable education. We're always talking about bringing value to the calls we do. This is about the power of a community that we have put together over a number of years. And so I'm excited as your host tonight to be able to share this with you. We do not waste time. We don't have hype. We don't do any of the cheerleading stuff. We want to give you straight nuggets, details, and information that we believe can change your situation. Everybody's got stuff going on in their life right now. We got people from different parts of the world who are here on this call. I've now been doing this for over 2.5 decades. I've been trading myself for about 11 years, and that's just part of the community. But I have a special guest who's on here tonight who has been trading now for a number of years. He's a former doctor, and today he is actually one of the top educators inside of this community. Then we have another special guest who's been trading for a number of years as well. We'll be bringing her on. You will love, and I promise you, you will love to hear her story and really how she got from where she was to where she is now as a powerful member, as part of this community. So what I want to do is just for sake of time, I want to show you a couple of things here, and I'm going to take myself off the screen so that way that there's no distractions. I'm going to do a share screen. If at any time, for any reason, you are not able to see my screen, just go ahead and let me know inside the chat. But you guys should be able to see this now about the Ultimate Lifestyle Membership. We're going to go ahead and get right into this. And again, I want to welcome each and every one of you to this call. I appreciate you taking time out of your, whether it's the evening, morning, or afternoon, depending on where you're at. But again, this is your host, Brandon Boyd, and I want to introduce you to a company called GFU. They're exploding in growth all over the globe. And part of the reason why that they're growing so quickly is because they offer what is called the Ultimate Lifestyle Membership. And I want to talk about that for just a bit. And by the way, I will make sure and get people admitted in that way that you guys don't miss out on the opportunity. But I want to talk about this membership. If you're wondering what the name GFU is, kind of like when I first heard the name GFU, I'd never heard of that before. I thought it was actually Jaifu, but had no understanding of its meaning. It stands for an abundant life, which every single one of you right now that are watching this Zoom call, you can have. But here's the key. If you choose it. You got to choose it. Years ago, I knew for myself that I wanted to have an abundant life. And I'm not just talking about finances. I'm talking about your health, your relationships, life in general. I call it whole life success, not just financial success. Now, first and foremost, as you can see, the company is expanding globally. You can see where they have entities, where they're shipping products, where their warehouses are located, their headquarters, and so forth. And the most important part to me is who is behind it all. These individuals, they've got years of experience. They've been a part of companies that have done revenues literally into the billions of dollars in sales. And so you can know for yourself that the team behind GFU is phenomenal. Now, they built the company on 3 pillars: travel, health, and education. Now, for this particular presentation, I really want to focus on pillar number 3 tonight, and that is the education pillar. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to skip straight to that. Now, inside of this pillar, you will get access to top tier training in finance, trading, e-commerce, AI through what is called GFU Live. So whether you want to learn about Forex, crypto, stock, e-commerce, credit repair, finance, social media, real estate, and so on and so forth, you can do just that. Now, instead of you just watching a bunch of videos that you're going to want to skip through, you're actually going to watch live sessions. We're going to show you tonight from one of the top educators, my best friend on this call tonight. You're going to see what it's like to learn from one of these educators who are going to teach you on a daily basis, really about whatever category that you are the most interested in. So let's say that you wanted to become a master of the markets. This is what I learned many years ago. You can do that by learning how to trade Forex, where you gain access to scanners, live sessions, and even live market ideas on the sessions right to your phone. So instead of you just having to figure it out all on your own, like I did in the beginning, and learn it all on your own, you can actually receive the ideas from the educators, themselves. They do all the research for you. You can simply copy and then you can choose at your own risk which each of the trades that you take. Now, you can do the same for crypto, the same for stock, e-commerce. If you've got bad credit, we can help you with that as well. If you're struggling with your finances, you can't seem to get ahead, we can help there as well. If you're struggling on social media, you want to build a great presence where you not only build your brand, but you can become a profitable influencer or brand promoter. You got that as well. We've got some individuals who are phenomenal in our social media academy that I believe will help you with your business in that way as well. Now, also real estate. This is something a lot of people are interested in. We have that as well. If you're tired of not being fit, feeling out of shape, feeling tired, not reaching your maximum potential, you can check out our fitness academy. Now, if you want to learn how to maximize AI, which is what I'm doing every single day, and you want to use that to your advantage with life and business, we got that too. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, if you guys don't understand AI, you don't want to understand it, it's here whether you like it or not. People are using it, and I'm going to tell you this right here, something I used every day that is making a difference in my life, my relationships, and my business, and is making things frankly easier as well. Now, last but not least, if you desire to become a better leader in life and in business, your home, and so forth, we've got an academy for that as well. You have access to GFU Connect. This is where you have access to the network, the resources, and updates on important information. You can literally access everything that you need from this one app. Now, my mentor told me your network equals your net worth. So what you're connected to, who you're connected to, this makes a difference. So getting access to GFU Connect is going to be huge because you're going to be able to get information from people who are making it happen in this industry. Now, one of the major tools that you get access to is called FX Global Ideas. So while you're learning how to trade, if that's what you choose to do, you can receive strategy ideas from the company educators. They're going to do all the research for you, and they can send out those ideas right to your phone. Now, this is going to help you to see what they see, and at your own discretion, at your own risk, you can place trades if you choose to do so. Now, as with anything else, I always tell people this up front, results are not guaranteed, but I think that you're going to find this app very, very impressive. Now, I want to bring an individual on, and I'm going to do a stop share just for a second. We've got a special individual who's on here tonight, someone I met back in 2002, so 23 years ago at this point, met back in college, back at the university, an individual named Josh Lee. Now, today he's known as Dr. Josh Lee. Why? Because he went on to get his doctorate degree. Now, I did not finish school. He finished school. He became a doctor. I went on to become successful in my own right. And I want to tell you right now, I'm so grateful that I had the opportunity to introduce years later this opportunity with trading and business, home-based business, digital entrepreneurship to Dr. Josh Lee, because he went from being a full-time doctor, seeing patients every day, to doing what he does now. Now, that is not an income claim. It's not a lifestyle claim. It's to tell you that no matter how busy you are, he has a big family, I have a big family as well, that if you desire something, if you prioritize that very thing, that it can change your life. Well, guess what? It did that for Dr. Lee as well. So this is what he does. He is one of the top, now I say, just, I don't want to be biased, but he is the top educator in the entire company. I think he's the most thorough. I think he's most detailed. I think he's most simple of all the educators we have on the GFood Live platform. So Dr. Lee, I want to welcome you to the call, and we are excited to have you here. I'm going to go ahead and make you the host, and that way that everybody can hear you. You will be spotlighted. Welcome to the call, my friend.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Brandon. Great to be with everybody tonight. And you know what? I appreciate that introduction. And it reminds me of that famous saying that information can change your situation. And one of the great things about education in general is that it helps us to make more informed decisions. And education doesn't always come in the form of formalized education, of getting a degree. As Brandon had pointed out, I spent a lot of years in school getting my doctorate degree. But the reality is you don't have to have a formalized degree in order to be educated. To be informed and to take action on that information is far more important than all the information in all the textbooks in all the world, in my humble opinion. I've met many very, very educated, well-informed people, but who don't take action on the information that they receive. In school, there were people, frankly, who were far smarter than I was. Boy, they knew everything in that book, but they had no interest in doing much with it. So it's not just so much what you know, but it's what you do with what you know that really makes the difference. And so one of the things I learned years ago, as Brandon had mentioned, we've known each other for several decades now, is that it's not just so much what you know, but it's what you do with what you know that really makes the difference. Because any of you who know Brandon, he's a man of action. And so I've learned to implement some of those principles by watching him. In the early days, I thought, no, it's just about being smart. It's just about having knowledge, intellect, and so forth. But no, it's about taking massive action on the information. So my encouragement as we start this call tonight is to make sure that you don't just glean information, but that you take action on it. Because you see, the right information with no action is just a wish, it's a missed opportunity. And years ago, when Brandon first introduced me to trading, that was an opportunity. He told me about trading. He said, Josh, I think you'd really be really good at this. I didn't have to take advantage of that opportunity, but I chose to investigate it. And so for some of you, you're coming into this going, what's this all about? Is there something here for me? And I would just invite you to take it very seriously and consider this opportunity to both learn how to trade as well as to do other things. Because sometimes, again, that information can change your situation if you're willing to take action upon it. So anyway, that's kind of my personal story. Is I decided to take action, and that's why I'm here today. It absolutely did change literally the direction of my life. I went from being a doctor to now my whole life is about trading, teaching other people how to trade, and I absolutely love it. And I'm so grateful that Brandon was willing to open up his mouth all those years ago to give me that opportunity. So in getting into this, what I want to share with you today is just a little overview of what the education program in this community is all about. And because if you don't know where the right information is, then it's hard to take advantage of it. So I want to just kind of go over that briefly with you. So I'm going to share my screen with you. Here we go. All right, make sure you can see that all right. Perfect. So when you come into the platform, you're going to come into a whole world of education. Now, back when I was in college, I would log into a similar kind of a platform where there would be all sorts of departments, the life sciences department, and many other different departments based upon the different course or direction that a person is wanting to go. I even have my oldest son right now. He's in college and university right now, and he's actually planning on being a doctor himself. And so he is going down that specific course or direction. And when you come into the world of education, especially in the business world, there are many different areas. So the Forex Academy, Crypto Academy, social media, mindset, finance, and all the other ones that Brandon had mentioned are available to help you to enhance your knowledge so that you can make progress in each of those areas. The particular area that I personally participate in and teach on is the Forex Academy. It's very similar to the Crypto Academy, just focuses more on Forex currencies, commodities, indices, etc. So kind of an asset-specific academy, but all the principles we teach are actually applicable into the crypto space as well. So let's take you into this to show you essentially what this is all about. So if we click on the Forex Academy, it's going to bring you to the basics. This is going to give an individual a foundation for their trading knowledge. You've got to understand basics like terminology. You've got to understand, well, what's a chart all about? What's a candlestick chart? How do we track the price? What are some common patterns that we see in the markets that allow us to see somewhat of a predictable type of a pattern that can essentially kind of give us an idea for what might happen in the future? Nothing's ever guaranteed. We don't have a crystal ball, nor does anybody else. But with these repeatable patterns, it tends to give us a clue at least as to where the price might go next on any given asset and time frame. And so within each of these different courses, it gets a person started with that. Once they're ready to then dive in a little deeper and they say, okay, I've got some of the basics, the foundational terminology, et cetera, down, I really want to get into some live learning. So if they select live learning, it will actually bring them to a calendar where we can see many of the different educators. And this is language specific. So we're looking at the English department, if you will, not to learn English, but rather those who are teaching in English. And so each of these educators, as with their respective sessions, will teach in English on various aspects of market and trading analysis. So as you can see, even just in glancing through some of the titles across the board with these different educators, is that each one focuses on different kind of aspects of trading. It doesn't mean that they're all on their own ship, all teaching something completely independent. Trading is quite universal, and so you can find multiple ways of doing essentially the same thing. And all of the educators, I could sit down with any one of them, and we would basically be speaking the same fundamental language in terms of price action, how to make our price directional predictions, how to manage risk on our accounts, and things of that nature. And so as you watch through many of these different educators, you can learn everything from the basics all the way to the advanced information with regards to trading and how to manage everything in between. And so with this calendar, one of the cool things is that it updates each day as the day progresses, so that whoever is at the top of this calendar is the next educator that's coming up in that time of day. So once an educator has taught their specific session, their sessions kind of disappear from the top and the next one moves up to the top so that you can see what's next in the schedule. It kind of keeps it right at the top. It's a very useful format. So Monday through Friday, I personally teach what's called Master the Skill training session. I focus on a quantum scanner, which is a scanner that I developed over the years to help you to be able to analyze the markets. But ultimately, as you tap into many of the different educators that are available, including myself, I'm more than happy to help you along your journey of trading. Ultimately, our goal is to inform you, to educate you, and to help you to make those decisions on how to apply trading into your life and how it can fit into your life as well. Each person is going to be a little bit different. Some people approach trading in the sense that they want it to just be a side hobby, and that's totally okay. Some people think, well, do I have to do this as a career? I've already got a career. I don't necessarily want to focus exclusively on trading, and that's totally fine. And so it's up to you in terms of how much time, how much effort, and really what trading means in your personal lifestyle and a career path, if you will. If you want to be a full-time trader, fantastic. We've got information that can help you progress on that journey. If you just want to do it as a hobby or as a side hustle or even as a part-time gig, then we can help you with that as well to formulate a plan and help you along that journey. So in addition to the educators and all that are available, we also within the platform have tools available to help you with the analysis process. So if we come over to the left side menu here, we can see this tab that says Scanner. So I'm going to click on that, and this is going to bring us to the Scanners page. This is an ever-evolving suite of tools that help us to analyze the markets. These can be seen in both light mode as well as dark mode. So like if I change this to dark, you'll see a dark background screen. So there are visual flexibility elements with this, and we've even got some really exciting new updates coming in the coming weeks. So definitely stay tuned for that are going to enhance this even more. But with the different scanners, first of all, what is a scanner? Well, price on any given asset, whether you're talking about gold, cryptocurrencies, indexes such as the Dow Jones or the S&P 500, everything goes up and down in value. And so how to make those price directional predictions is an important part of analysis. So you can see even on this particular scanner, this is called Trend Wave, that there are these areas here where it says either long. Let me change the color of that real quick so you can see that. It says long or short. This is indicating changes of direction in the markets. And so each system is designed to help make you aware of when those directions are changing. Now there are rules for each scanner that help you to know which, in a sense, signals or ideas to consider, because not every time that the price pivots is necessarily the prime opportunity where we actually want to get in on a trade. But ultimately, each system and each scanner is designed to help you to make those decisions. So let me just show you a few of these. So this first one is called Trend Wave. The next is called Golden Era. And you're going to notice pretty quickly, even if you don't know exactly what all the lines mean and these bars, the vertical bars, the green and red bars on this chart, that represents a history of price going up and down. All the other lines on a chart are meant to help us to analyze what the price is doing. And so with that, we can then make decisions on our trades of whether to place a buy expecting price to go up or place a sell expecting price to go down. So each one will have different tools, which we call indicators. These are mathematical tools that help us to understand price and to make these price directional predictions. This next one is called Smart Monics. You can see once again, different lines, different tools. So they're all analyzing the price and giving us different perspectives on what might happen in the charts. And so without going into all the specifics of how to use each individual scanner, what's important at this stage is to recognize that just as a person can drive a different color of car and still get to their job tomorrow, ultimately within the world of trading, there are different perspectives, approaches, and ways of analyzing the prices. So each individual scanner is designed to help you to perform that analysis and to make those detailed decisions on whether or not to place a trade either in the upward or the downward direction. This one's called Supernova, and we have quite a few. So this next one in line is called Quantum. This is actually the scanner that I personally developed, and it has a lot to it. Not because it's complicated, but ultimately it's providing with a significant amount of market research and data information to help you to make those critical decisions. One of those key elements, for example, you can be seen right here. So this big blue triangle where the candlesticks are now turning blue, that's an indication. It's called a macrophase arrow that says, hey, price isn't going down anymore. It's showing us evidence that it might go up here in the near future. And you can see price is in fact going in the upward direction. So different tools like this take the guesswork out of trading. Why? Because they're analyzing hundreds of pieces of information that you could analyze if you had access to all the information, if you knew how to calculate it, etc. But it would be very, very difficult to do it manually. And so this automates the process so that when price is going down, you see these red candlesticks. When the price is going up, you see the blue ones. And so this helps you to identify these opportunities in advance so that you can learn to take advantage of them. Okay, just a few other ones real quick just to show you through. We also have one called Kill Shot. Okay, again, different indicators, different tools, different perspectives. Think of it as a slightly different lens and way in which to see the charts. And each one has their advantages and disadvantages. But here's what I would suggest to you is that each tool tends to resonate with one person or another. In other words, you might see something and say, I really like the look of that. That tends to resonate with my eyes, and that's totally okay. Just as each and every one of you have chosen someone different in your marriage or relationship, similarly, even when it comes to the markets, we can look at different scanners and find resonance with different tools. And so each one, this one's called Sniper Pro, also provides that perspective to help you to see which direction the price is going at the present time, as well as when it might be changing directions. And so ultimately, as you learn to apply these principles taught by the educators in connection with these various market scanners, ultimately our goal is to help you to see the markets clearly, to have confidence in placing your trades, and then to help trading become that important part of your life in whatever degree or fashion that you want it to be. Whether, again, that's short-term, kind of a hobby basis where you're doing it just kind of here and there, to up to a full-time basis. Now, again, we're not here to say, choose this as a career, here's the exact path, here's how much money you're going to make. But guess what? When I went to college, when I got my doctorate degree, never at any given time during my educational experience did any person, professor or otherwise, tell me, here's exactly how much money you're going to make in this amount of time. There's never a guarantee in life. You've got to go out and you've got to apply yourself. That's what I had to do as a doctor. It's what I had to do as a trader. And so each person has to do the same thing. They have to apply themselves. They have to learn. They have to apply these principles and make of it what they will. But here's the good news is that, like Tony Robbins said, it's not a matter of resource availability. It's about being resourceful. And so knowing that this information is available to you through many educators who are very experienced, lots of years of experience here, ultimately, we believe that we can help inform you and educate you to the point where you can feel confident in your trading abilities. I teach 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, to help you to take your trading to that next level. We focus on mindset as well as technical analysis to teach you all those ins and outs to help you take your trading to that next level. And so my invitation to you is to, again, take action. Take this very seriously. Doesn't mean you have to immediately commit yourself to trading for the rest of your life, but you have to really sit back and say, you know what does this mean to me? I can tell you for myself, when Brandon first introduced this to me, the light bulb that went on was, boy, I can see how I can scale this. I can see how I could begin to identify patterns in the market. Even that subtle thought of the possibility of identifying repeatable patterns in the market gave me both the hope and confidence that I could begin to take action on those things, begin to apply them, and ultimately make trading something that I do for a living. And here I am today. And so anyway, my encouragement to you is to take it very seriously as part of that. So thanks for having me on, Brandon, and it's great to be with all of you today. And if you ever have any questions, please feel free to tune into any of my sessions. Reach out to me personally. I'm more than happy to help. We're here for you always. Thanks, brother, and thanks for having me on.
I absolutely love that, Dr. Lee. Thank you so much. You know, people ask all the time, is this something that can work for me? And on a weekly basis, Dr. Lee will actually post what is called the Masters Club. These are people from all over the globe, different backgrounds, ethnicities. I mean, there's just, you know, it's really been crazy to see how many people from countries around the world who have been able to achieve the Masters Club. And some of these people are on here literally. There's Aaron, right? He's on here. Some people have achieved it like every single week, and then there's always newcomers. Now, keep in mind, this is just people that are actually part of the community, and this is every week. This represents people that for the week have a minimum of a 70% win rate on 10 trades, which is pretty incredible if you really think about it. And we actually have another one of the individuals on here tonight, Mrs. Stella Jane Penn, which I'm going to bring on here in just a second. Phenomenal individual that I think has probably been on the Masters Club more than anybody that I've ever known. And in fact, let me take this off the stop share or screen share there and go back to me on video because I think this is important to give her the recognition that she deserves. First of all, Stella, somebody I met actually a few years ago. She was trading, wanted to learn more about it, got involved with us, and man, she has been the most consistent person, period, that I've ever worked with in business. I think she's has not missed a single webinar. Just so you understand, there's literally been hundreds and even thousands of webinars, been on every single one. She has done an absolutely incredible job of being that cheerleader inside of the chats to keep people going. She is the incurable optimist. She is Mrs. Positive, always energetic, non-complainer, has been an incredible team player, has set the example as well by bringing other people to have them check out trading and to learn more about it and to build their mindsets. She is an absolute beast of an individual in a positive way when it comes to life and business and personal growth and so forth. So I wanted to bring her on tonight as a special guest because I think it's important for you guys to hear a little bit from her, even just for a couple of minutes. So Stella, I've gone ahead and made you the host. We're grateful that you're on here. Guys, so you understand, it is the middle of the night. Middle of the night. She's supposed to be in bed and she was committed to be here. She's not from the USA, all right? And so, Stella, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Brandon. And also thank you, Dr. Josh Lee. So I'm going to just get straight in as your time is so very valuable. I'm also going to refer to my notes here that I've got in front of me. I've got a lot of good things to share in a limited amount of time. And as they say, note takers are money makers. So always be sure to take your notes and refer back to them. That's certainly what I've been taught to do anyway. But basically, in a nutshell, because of what I've learned, the scanner that I use every single day, which is called Quantum, I was since able to get access to, firstly, more money to trade with. I was also able to get access to many more resources too. I have been able to partner up with my chosen funding company. They're a leading top global company in their own right. They are number one in the funding industry, not just for their payouts, but they too are a very reputable company. They're fully compliant. And that's certainly something that I was looking for. And this has enabled me to do that. And why I'm telling you this is so very important to know when we're trading and how, because they have their own sets of rules too. The platform I use, it was created by traders for traders. Real professional, successful traders, I call them. That's what they are. And that's what we do. Duplication is also so crucial, along with how we are being taught and who we allow to teach us. Because once we are taught, we must then be able to take our own trades and explain our chosen strategy fully and in detail also if necessary, and to fully understand it. And that's, to understand it ourselves, most importantly. And you can't do this if you're relying on, say, copying, if you're still dependent on someone else, say, then you're not yet fully independent yourself. So by my doing this, I've managed to get 20 accounts fully funded, which is a total amount that they allow. And I mean funded, not evaluation accounts, using all of the tools myself. And I did this to prove to myself, firstly, that I could do this consistently over and over again on my own. Not just be taught the skill set, but yes, but also teaching my mind to recognize it with our daily mindset mastery. That's, truly duplicatable. And this is why I'm sharing it with you. I could then implement all of the many strategies that I had been taught over time, of course, and to find out then more for myself what worked and what worked best for me as a person. It also really recommends both my trading style and my chosen platform and rules. So because I've been taught to truly master the skill, to master myself, the scanner, the education, the right education, which is completely duplicatable. I know I've mentioned that. To the many, though, not just me. Consistency is the key to compounding. And I am also compounding and growing my own account too, as well as my paid funded live accounts. And that's what I've been able to do personally by my being educated properly. And I can't enhance that enough. The Masters Club, obviously, Brandon's already touched on that. It's our weekly recognition program. I'd say for around 3.5 years, maybe a little more now, I've been on the Masters every single week, not to boast, but again, I'm sharing it again with you to show you what's possible and for others too, not just me. I did this originally for the Masters. We used to do something called the 50 and the 100. Now we do the Masters Club, which is amazing. I'm still part of that, I'm pleased to say, every single week. Now you take 10 consecutive trades. You don't have to do it all at once, may I add. Neither would I recommend it. I'm not going to go into the figures today, but it's a consistency level program related to the amount of trades that are taken with the win ratio factor that Brandon covered. And this is where you learn to truly master the skill. And many more people are then able to participate, a forever growing community, our master the skill community, learning, growing together, and we get recognition. And then also people get their recognition for their own skills, what they get told to with a weekly flyer, and you get to keep those for your own portfolio. And this is amazing because this part of it, again, has helped me in so many different areas by being able to use those. I can't tell you enough. Always be a student, forever learning, growing. Sharing is caring. That's why I'm here with you tonight in the middle of the night. I've never missed a session on our daily live sessions together every single day, Monday to Friday, nearly 4 years on now, since the day I started to the present day now today. Always be present. I've never copied a trade, ever. We don't have trades called. We don't have live signals, nothing like that. Every setup I've ever taken from day one is my own. And what I see, what I've been taught, my own chosen risk, using the tools, the knowledge, all that I've been taught to use myself, with an objective trade system, which is rules-based. I follow it, no fail. I never break my own rules. I've been taught to do that. I've never been, I've always been educated by professionals with over decades of experience, the people on this call. So you can know too that you are 100% in the right place. I can tell you that. They've developed and created the scanner I use, proprietary tools built within it. And you've seen some of them here tonight. Let me tell you though, it is completely unique, and that it works, most importantly. And if it works for me, then it can work for you too. All the tools within it, it's got the decades of knowledge, experience, the education, and everything within it. It's completely duplicatable for you and I. And I have just replicated all that I've ever been taught, took the necessary tools and action needed, and then I've just executed. I trust in myself, my system, my tools, and most importantly, the people that taught me. The rest is now history. It's all in the past. It's out of my hands to control. And what I mean by that is what the market is telling me it's going to do, not perhaps what I might want it to do. Thank you all for listening. I hope that you took some good value from my sharing just some of the things that I've been able to since do so far. And Brandon and Dr. Josh Lee for having me on the call today with you both. As always, I'm forever truly grateful. SRP V8 Diamonds Mastery in the house. Love and light to you all.
Wow, as usual, love it. Thank you so much for that, Stella. I hope you guys were able to, feel of her passion, her energy, her being genuine and sincere with everything that she has been able to do the past number of years. And I'll repeat it again, the most consistent person that I've actually had a chance to work with in business is Stella Jane Penn. So, and that's saying a lot. I've worked with some pretty consistent ones, and I'll put it right there, Dr. Lee as well, because even when he had COVID twice, he didn't miss a session. When we went to conventions, he didn't miss a session. He is always, always there, and truly grateful for so many years working with such phenomenal individuals. Think about it. Remember, I said your network equals your net worth. The people that you surround yourself with is the greatest determining factor of your success as well as happiness. I was just talking about that with one of my children as well, is that the people that you're around is what makes such a major difference in your life. Now, normally, guys, I go through some other information. Tonight, I'm not going to. I'm actually visiting with my parents, which is why my background is a little bit different. I was actually using one of my dad's other rooms to do the call. But if you want to get involved with our community, it's going to cost you 300 bucks. I'm going to give you a $50 rebate. I'm actually going to drop this in here right now. You guys can screenshot that. You're going to get it from me directly. And basically the way that this works is the monthly is 185 USD. So it's month to month. Don't worry, you're not locked in any contracts. You can literally take this a month at a time, 185. That's going to give you access to the entire community, the scanners, the live sessions, everything that like Dr. Lee was showing you, that Stella Jane was talking about, the GFU Connect, the FX trades, the ideas, all of that, everything is there for you. You get all of it is inclusive. And then they even put incentives on top of that to help you guys to succeed. Whether you want to do e-commerce or you just want to trade the markets and stuff, you have an opportunity to do that. I will tell you this is worth your time. It is worthy of your time. The reason is one word that Dr. Lee used earlier was scale. Most of you don't have the opportunity right now to scale your income, to compound your income. And this is what we have talked about tonight. We don't give any guarantees, but whether you want to trade or you want to build a business, you can certainly do that. I do both. I trade and I build the business. The reason why I built the business is I've done it over 2.5 decades. I've been able to change lives all over the globe, at least hopefully I've been able to do so. I've been to 45 countries. I've taken my wife to over 20. I can tell you, building a home-based business is the thing to do as a digital entrepreneur in 2025. All the tax advantages you have, creating residual income, passive income, all that kind of stuff. I haven't had a job since 2004. So think about that. I've raised 7 children, 7, by not having a job. That is not easy to do. You know what I'm saying? So I'm telling you, if I can do this and I didn't even graduate college, you guys can do this too. It's not even you just working hard. It's by you having systems. It's about you aligning with the right people that have actually been there. I'm one of those people. Dr. Lee's one of those people. Stella's one of those people. You got to actually learn from people who are frankly further down the road than you with this. We are down the road. We want to help you guys succeed. So what I would say is get back to the person who invited you here. And if you want to start with us as a customer, you can do that. If you want to build a business, great. You don't have to. We don't force anybody to build this as a business. If you just want to get in, get all the education, learn how to do this, maximize your income, you can certainly do that. So we appreciate you guys for being on here tonight. Dr. Lee, Stella, J, and Penn, thank you so much for being here. We hope you guys have an absolutely phenomenal night, and we will see you guys on the inside of GFood Live. Thanks, everyone, and we'll talk soon.